It's the KC Artsbeat Report. I'm Patrick Neese. Thanks for joining me. It's the new year and a new season for Destiny Mermagen, who has put together a fabulous series of concerts. And she has a lot to tell us about, not just about the concerts, but about a big career move too. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to the KC Artsbeat YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to us on Substack. And right now, it's just time to say hello and Happy New Year to Destiny. Hello there. So great
Hi.
to see you.
Yes, Happy New Year.
It's always
Welcome to
always a
2026.
yeah, welcome to 2026. It's always a great to have you on the show. You're always so much fun and have such great things
Likewise.
to talk about. Uh,
Yes, I can yammer the gift of gab.
yeah, well, first of all, I have to say it was so pleasant yesterday on New Year's Day, listening to
Mm,
you on KPR in the morning. Tell us about
yes.
this move. This is brand new. Hearing you so early in the day on KPR. What's going on?
Yeah, and I'm not a morning person.
You never know it.
I am now though. It's great. I'm now it's so funny to me that, the titled position is music director, and as a performing musician, to me music director means a conductor.
Uh-huh.
And I was talking to Mike about this, like, it's kind of weird to be called a music director. And he's like, but you are a conductor. You're conducting the radio waves. And I was like, oh, come on. So, it's fun. It's cool to be a music director, I guess, and just direct the radio waves. But yeah, the mornings are typically a more listened to time slot. It's radio's prime time for classical music. So I'm really glad to basically, I like to say, spread the good word of classical music throughout the state of Kansas, and people can listen worldwide anywhere. The app, it's great.
Well, I think that your show kind of sets the tone for the day for a lot of people too. Uh,
Hmm.
and what a great person and music to do that because you have such a friendly, appealing on air personality. And yesterday, when I was listening on New Year's Day, your music selections were just top notch. Do you choose,
Mm.
as music director, I assume you choose your own music?
Yes, I do pick my own music. However, sometimes I don't always get a chance to listen to every single thing all the way through, of course, because, some symphonies are quite long. But I sort of have the motto that most music deserves to be heard. And a lot of times people think that I will specifically pick a certain recording of something because I like it. That's not always the case. I mean, I have my own personal preferences, but everybody does. So what I like, someone else might not like, and what someone else might love, I might really not like. So I try to keep a really open mind and program diverse orchestras of different things. I just try to keep it fresh. I don't know if fresh is the right word.
Huh? And definitely morning oriented, it seemed like to me yesterday. Uh,
Yeah, for the new year, I thought a little pep might be nice.
uh-huh. But anyway, congratulations on that. KPR really scored when they were able to secure you as the new morning person at KPR. You're going to do a great job. What's the dial position for that so people can tune in and listen?
91.5 is the Lawrence station, and I think that probably is the one that reaches Kansas City.
You're right.
But
Yeah.
they can always listen on the app. We have a live stream on the app. The app, sometimes we have a little glitch with some ads playing that we're trying to work out at the moment. But the radio, I would say if you have one, or your smart speaker actually, is pretty good audio quality, and you can get the live stream that way too.
What's the website address?
kansaspublicradio.org.
And I think you can listen there as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there are lots of ways to listen to Destiny in the morning on
Yeah.
KPR. I highly encourage you to give it a try, give her a try. Now,
Yeah.
in addition to that, you're a busy woman. Not only are you doing this new radio gig, but you also have a musical organization called prairieclassical.org, which has its own season. And before we get into that season, Why don't you tell us a little bit about Prairie Classical?
Well, it's a nonprofit that I founded. We're in our third year, and essentially it was sort of born out of how I've performed throughout the years. Whenever I perform or put on a concert, I really like to include youth, as in having the professionals interact and work with and play with the youth, like set a good example, because I think youth needs some good adult examples in the world. So I thought, the community really likes this idea and people want to support. And I think a good way to do that is to start it as a nonprofit. So that was how Prairie Classical was born. And every concert we give features really amazing people, like world-class professionals, alongside. There's always a student feature as part of it.
It's terrific, and you put on fantastic concerts. I've seen several of them, and they're so exciting. And it's so great to see these young musicians. They're just beaming, uh,
Hmm.
when they're alongside, professionals from the Kansas City Symphony, or like your husband, Michael Mermagen, who's an amazing cellist. And these kids, I know they really appreciate the opportunity you provide them. And you have four concerts coming up before the end of May. And
Hmm.
uh, let's talk about that first one on January 10th. It's called What's Your Resolution?
Yes, with the tagline, classical music will save the world. So Prairie Classical's motto is, music is the best medicine. And I like to incorporate lots of good health stuff in with that. So like mental health and community outreach and whatnot. So I have decided to expand our motto, not officially on the website, but I really like classical music will save the world. I think it's funny
I
and
do.
true.
Well, it reminds me of a quote by Dostoevsky: "Beauty will save the world."
Oh, you're right. Wow.
And classical music is beauty. And I think
Hmm.
that, beauty in the any form, but just let's take it in the classical music form, it lifts the spirit to better things, to, you don't, it takes you out of the gutter, and you
Yeah.
want to aspire to the best in your life and in the world. So I
Right.
absolutely agree with that motto: classical
Right.
will save the world.
So this first concert, since it's the season opener, this is the one that, aside from the ragtime side by side that we can get into later, that's at the end of the year, this one features the most amount of youth. I thought it would be just a good way to kick off the year. The other two concerts are heavier on professional music, still with a youth element. This particular concert is really fun because when I made the season announcement, I said the little tagline, "Your heart will melt into a puddle of fondue," because I was thinking of the New Year's and I'm cheesy. So, so then I kind of rolled with it. So this is going to be really fun. It's kind of a appetizer selection of all of the greatest violin duo hits, and also Karen Savage on piano will be joining us, and we'll be doing some Haydn Gypsy Trio. Mike and I are going to play Passacaglia by Handel Halvorsen, which is the most epic violin cello duet ever. And then I've got some really great fun duets with my students. And, it was really funny. I asked one of my students the other day, I was like, what kind of cheese does this duet remind you of? Because I'm going to have cheese at the reception.
Ah,
And she was like, Parmesan. And I was like, why Parmesan? And she's like, well, it's called the snowflake waltz. And you know how you sprinkle Parmesan cheese?
ah,
I was like, wow, you're really
brilliant.
smart. I know. So then I thought I also wanted to incorporate another fun element into it. So I sort of have all these mottos going, classical music will save the world, music is the best medicine. What's your resolution? So I figured probably by January 10th, everyone will have failed at their resolutions, but this is like a fresh start. You
Uh-huh.
can reboot your resolutions. So I found this fantastic fortune cookie company that I had custom make fortune cookies for the reception. And in the fortune cookies, there are five quotes, inspirational quotes from composers that might be like a good way to go into the rest of your January or the year. So
Well, wonderful.
I know. So people can come and enjoy free cheese and free fortune cookies with great fortunes.
That is terrific. And where will this concert be and what time? I know it's on January 10th.
Yes,
And
it's
where?
January 10th at Old Mission United Methodist Church, which is in Fairway, Kansas, by the Shawnee Mission Indian Mission building, and it's at 3 p.m.
Great.
and it's free.
Another motto that I have is that melted cheese will save the world. But
Mm.
you know, we seem to be on a food theme, and that kind of brings us to our next concert, which is on March 1st, Pum Freet.
Yes, well, when I was talking to Mike, what am I going to title this concert? I I said French favorites is too bland. And he was like, "Oh, how about pommes frites? French fries, their favorite French things." And it's like, kind of a colloquialism for favorite things. And I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. We're starting the new year with cheese, and then we can move on to French fries.
Okay.
So at this concert, I'm amazed. The pianist that we're bringing in, she's like super duper, really, really good. And I can't believe, I can't believe she said yes to three of the craziest, hardest things to play for piano, all in one program. Well, the Debussy's not as crazy. So we're doing the Debussy Cello Sonata. Mike will be doing that with her, which is really fun. But then what's really crazy is the Ravel Trio. It's basically a piano concerto with string accompaniment. It's like, it's so epic. And then the Franck Violin Sonata, which is equally as epic. It's such a workout for the pianist. And she was like, "Yeah, this is great. I can't wait." So we're very excited to host Angela Dragachescu. She'll be flying in from Washington State. She performs with all sorts of fancy pants famous people, so we're excited to have her. And at that concert, which will be at UMKC, there will be macarons
Ah,
afterwards as a lovely sweet treat.
oh, wonderful. Wonderful. That Franck sonata is also a gorgeous showpiece for the violin, too.
Yes, it
That
is. It
it's
actually was the very first. It was the very first thing when I played when I made my Carnegie Hall debut.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
God, how wonderful.
Yeah, this is actually I haven't played it since then, so it'll be nice to revisit it.
Well, that'd be a very wonderful special concert on March 1st. And tell us when and where that is. And
That is at UMKC's White Hall at 5 p.m.
great. Um, by the way, are there that first concert on January 10th is free.
Yes, they're all free.
They're all free. Well, what a gift to the community. That's
Yes, but I really request that people RSVP so I know how many fortune cookies to provide, for instance.
we may as well give that a web address then.
Just go to prairieclassical.org, and if you just click on the concerts, it'll take you to the RSVP page.
You know, if you combine the melted cheese from your first concert with the pomme frite of the second concert, you'll have some poutine.
You're right. I will make the Canadians happy.
Yes. All right, we're moving on now to Quartet Rodeo on
Yes.
March 22nd.
Yes,
This
and
sounds fun.
you don't even realize the segue that you created there because it's with my friends Veronique and Shaw, and they're Canadian, and we're actually featuring some Canadian folk music on that concert.
Oh, wow. Neat.
Yes, that one's going to be really fun. We oh, I just want to tell you the youth element for the March concert really quick. It's
Uh-huh.
it's going to be so cute. It's like all of the most famous French melodies. It's just going to be a little fun little showcase. Anyways, back to the Quartet Rodeo. It's called A Whole New World because, Dvorak wrote the New World Symphony and I love Dvorak.
Um,
So we're going to play his American String Quartet and Smetana String Quartet, the first two movements of that. It's like a kind of an hour and 15-minute concert. And then some Canadian folk music. And then I have a really neat version of Copland's Simple Gifts that a couple students will be joining us on, like string quartet version with expanded parts. So it's like all the really feel good music, which is nice.
that is terrific. And, keeping with the food theme, do you know what smetana means in Czech?
Mm-mm.
Sour cream.
Mm.
And Google that.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. He must have
So
been bullied.
Yeah, I know, really. So Quartet Rodeo is on March 22nd. When and where?
That will be at Pine Ridge Presbyterian Church Sunday, 3 p.m. And it's really easily accessible from the highway. There's a huge parking lot. It's actually faster for me to get there than it is to downtown Kansas City. So I think people are a little like, oh, it's up north, it's so far, but it's really not.
Uh-huh. Great. And then finally on May 31st, Ragtime. You know, this morning when I was listening, I think it was this morning, I heard you play a Scott Joplin piece.
Yes, you did. A real slow drag because everyone's dragging themselves into the new year.
Yes, it was just lovely. Scott Joplin is really one of America's great unsung composers.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're giving ragtime attention because it's a musical form unique to America and it has kind of a classical form, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think, for the student side by side, this is the concert where it's a chamber orchestra and each student gets to work with a professional member. We have people from the symphony and various other organizations. I want the students to have fun, and I don't know where else can they like where can anyone play ragtime as a chamber orchestra? So I'm still working on finding the repertoire for that. It's a little bit challenging, as you might imagine. There's not a whole lot of ragtime written for chamber orchestra, but it's going to be epic. Epic is the word of the series, I think.
And ragtime is so important to this part of the country too.
Hmm.
And because the Maple Leaf Club, after which the Maple Leaf Rag was written, was in Sedalia, Missouri.
Right.
And Jenkins Music Company, which was located here in Kansas City, a big music publishing company, they published a lot of ragtime. I think they published some of Scott Joplin's rags. So, it's I think ragtime is something to be especially proud of. They have the International Scott Joplin Music Festival every year in Sedalia too, where people come from all over the country. So I'm so
Yeah.
glad you're giving attention to ragtime here in Kansas
Yeah.
City. We need to hear it more often. So that's going to be May 31st. And where is that going to be, Destiny?
That is going to be at Southminster Presbyterian Church, 6 p.m.
You happen to have the address handy for that?
I I can in five, four. It's 6306 Row Avenue, so it's in Prairie Village.
Okay, great. And again, all of these concerts are free. What's Your Resolution on January 1st, Pumfreet on March 1st, Quartet Radio on March 22nd, and Ragtime on May 31st. And I tell you, you can't get have a better time for free than to go to one of Destiny's concerts with top-notch musicians, along with some of the most gifted young musicians in
Hmm.
the area. So again, go to prairieclassical.org and reserve your tickets because they do go fast. I've noticed whenever I go to one of Destiny's concerts, they're always super well attended. So you don't
Yeah, it's
uh,
fun. Well, people want to have fun, and classical music actually can be fun. And not only that, because I'm crazy, I make sure that it sounds really good. So you'll be impressed with how it sounds too.
yes, you will. Yeah, classical music is definitely fun. You always put on a great show, and it's so great that you make these concerts available for free. And again, listen to Destiny Monday through Friday on dial position again.
91.5. And I do have to give a shout out to the community and my board members who all really are wonderful and support Prairie Classical. And it's the reason it's still free is because there's just so much board support and community support.
And well-deserved support, I might add.
Thanks.
Destiny, it's always a delight having you on the show.
Thanks.
A great way to start the new year for the KC Artsbeat Report.
Yay.
Again, check out prairieclassical.org. And also, please subscribe to the KC Artsbeat YouTube channel. And if you know somebody who might be interested in this great music, share the video with them. And also, please follow us on Facebook, follow us on Substack, subscribe to us there. I send out regular emailings on Substack. And thanks again to Destiny. And
Thank you.
until next time, I'm Patrick Neese.
Until next time.